go from your team to your new team. Obviously, you go through all the physicals. You meet everyone. You go through the plays, a few practices. So yeah, I'm really excited to finally be out of New York. So looking forward to new opportunities.
I don't know if you saw this, and I kind of found it funny because I have a lot of friends that are Knicks fans,
Mm-hmm.
and they always would talk shit about Evan Fournier and how they didn't like him.
Yeah.
And I think Mike Curtis was interviewing him, and he basically is like, I'm so excited to be out of New York. So, kind of my question to you is, have you been kind of following like the Evan Fournier, Tom Thibodeau, they don't like each other saga?
I have. I actually follow some Knicks fans on Twitter. So I've been like, even before the trade happened where Fournier, Grimes, and Malachi Flynn landed here, I was pretty aware of the Knicks fans' feelings on all those players, which is why I was a little bit surprised to see Grimes actually end up getting moved. I thought it was going to be one of those things where, like, player kind of seems like they want out a little bit, but they don't end up getting in. Maybe they end up finding a role, but he actually got moved, which I thought was a great move for Detroit. But Evan Fournier with New York, I always thought that situation was really interesting because when they traded for him, I was like, okay, yeah, they need spacing and they need a guy that can really shoot. He seems like both of those things. Like, I know his time in Boston wasn't like the best, but
No.
I didn't think he was like DNP levels, especially considering his contract. Because it's not like he has some tiny contract. Like, that's significant money that you're just not playing. It's worked out in their favor, to be fair. Like, they're doing great, but I was surprised a little bit to see that he really truly would not get minutes there, because it's not like he's incredibly old either. He's like, what, 31?
If that, like,
Yeah. So I don't blame Evan for wanting out of New York and being excited to be out of New York. I saw anytime there's Pistons related news or anything like that, and you see it on social media, I'm sure you see it more than anybody. You'll see like, oh, this player's excited to be in Detroit, and then the comment section is just like, nobody's excited to be in Detroit. Anybody. But I genuinely believe he is, and he's been getting opportunities to play. Monty's been playing him quite a bit. Some Pistons fans have mixed opinions on that, and that is what it is. But I can't say he's really performed poorly with the Pistons. I think, you get him in a refined role, and I don't think Pistons fans will have too much to complain about, because I really do believe Evan Fournier is still a quality role player in the NBA. He might not be a starting level player on maybe a championship team, but I do think he has a role in the NBA still, for sure.
Yeah, I remember him in Orlando, and like he was a pretty good player, but I have a lot of friends that are Magic fans. Like, dude, this guy cannot defend a traffic cone. And like during the trade, I was like, okay, we're trading Bojan, but we're getting a guy that can basically do the same thing.
Yeah.
And you're getting Quentin Grimes, and you get some throw-in players that maybe you want to look at, but you probably won't.
Mm-hmm.
I thought him saying that was really funny, and I saw a bunch of national media bunches like Bleacher Report pick up the story, and they're like, "Oh yeah, who wants to live in Detroit?" Newsflash: these guys don't live in Detroit; they're in Birmingham and like Royal Oak. Like, the only person I know for a fact that lives in Detroit is like Troy Weaver. Like, that's the only like front office, whatever. Like Monty Williams, for all intents and purposes, I know he lives in Birmingham.
Right.
Like, they don't live near Detroit. Like, there's nice parts of Michigan. I just think sometimes people from an outside perspective, they're going to have those opinions. But I mean, there's some really beautiful parts of Michigan that, like, I think maybe people in New York or wherever they are don't even realize it.
Well, that, and even Detroit, I wouldn't say it's like it's a bad city at all. I really, like, if you spend time in downtown Detroit, sure, just like any other major city, there's rough areas and everything like that, sure, but I can't say like Detroit as a whole is in a nice city. Like, if there's definitely certain places right near LCA even that there are some apartments, townhomes that are really nice in nice areas. Detroit is not what the national media and a lot of people kind of assume it to be, and that's something I try to tell in stories where I talk to players or coaches or anybody like that, where I kind of always ask people's opinions on Detroit when they first come here, and then I do a little, like with Jamel McMillan, who's the Crew's head coach. Beginning of the season, before the season actually, I had asked him kind of what his thoughts were on Detroit, and he was like, it's kind of gloomy, it's this and that. But then the more time goes on, his opinion has evolved, and it's kind of just something that like you really have to be here to have an opinion on the city.
Yeah, I mean, Jamel came from Seattle, so I mean, it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
He said gloomy.
He did say, yeah, it reminded him of Seattle, which it was complimentary. I don't want to make it seem like he was crapping.
No, it's kind of funny because like Seattle rains like every day.
Yeah,
that's why I was kind of laughing in my head. I was like,
yeah,
that's actually kind of funny.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think it's kind of Fournier just wants to play, and he has been playing a lot. Of that Lakers game, it seems like he was like scoring every basket. And I kind of had to turn it off. I was like, I don't know why I'm staying up till 1 a.m. to watch this play the Lakers.
I don't blame you.